not one to update photos, but this is my life, my dog. I'm a golfer, play pool. I'm kind of sick of pool though. And I just, it's golf time. It's golf season. And then I do go ride with my family, my dad, my brother quite often. So it is. That is Bay Harbor. Yeah. It's a hard course to forget. I'm gonna just jump right into a couple things. I feel like I've done this what like 16 times over the course of like 3, 4 years. Kind of run out of content, but we got some pretty new stuff this the last year we've been rolling out, so I want to talk about that. Quick thing, here's some states I'm licensed in currently. It's 8 states. I'm actually working on getting licensed in Colorado, but everything that's in blue we can do mortgages there. Let alone even the gray, if you're looking to buy investment properties, we can do loans there as well. So we pretty much can do stuff everywhere, which is really fun. What I do residential and commercial lending. The commercial thing's kind of new the last few years, but really the last like 6 to 12 months have been kind of like jumping deep into it. So it's a whole different realm, but it's been kind of fun. I've been in the business for 10 years, might be nine. August is either 9 or 10 years. I kind of forget, but I do 7 to 10 closings a month, known for communication, reliability, getting the job done, getting people into homes. So one program I wanted to kind of talk about today was our bank statement program. So I want to go a little bit more in depth about what it is and how it works. So this is a client that we're working through right now. We just got them pre-approved a couple days ago. So came to me saying, "Hey, I was working with my bank. They said, sorry, you don't make enough money to get into a home." So we looked at their tax returns. This guy's makes about 200. He had a revenue about $280,000 last year over the last 12 months. Taxes, he makes $750 a month. So when a traditional bank looks at your tax return and you have all your expenses, so you makes 280,000 or revenue that, but spend $120,000 on a machine, that's an expense. So you write that off, right? And all the other expenses in the business, whether it be internet, whether it be your truck, it's all expenses. It all is, goes towards your taxes so that Jason can help you guys save money. So you don't have to pay the IRS so much money. Well, it makes it really difficult to buy a home when you're a business owner sometimes. So with all of these monthly deposits on the left-hand side, that's going to be what he's actually bringing in specifically from the business. We take that and we use an expense ratio. So depending on the type of business, whether it be a service, construction, remodeling, whatever type of business, we're going to use a different expense ratio. So right now we're using a 30% expense ratio for this client. He's a detailer. So there's not a lot of expenses. If you're like, Matt, there might not be a whole lot of, expenses day to day. Whereas like, what Chase was here, he's spending a lot of money on the building material and everything else. So the expense ratio is gonna be higher. So instead of using 70% of the total, $22,000 of monthly income, we might use 50% of that. And then if we do need additional income for whatever reason, we can get a CPA to fill out a CPA letter stating, hey, so-and-so's expense ratio is really closer to 80%, or 20%, I guess was what they'd actually, expenses would be. If we had someone prepare that, they'd go through it and kind of give us those numbers, but they are generic. This has been a great program that's helped a lot of people recently get into homes. So business owners that have been told no, we have options for them. And what's cool too is taxes, we base off the last 2 years and we average. This is 12 months. So what does your most recent 12 months look like? That's all we do. There's not much more to it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, these guys were pre-approved for like $100,000 because the wife had some credit, and they were trying to buy an $800,000 home. So, and they got pre-approved for $900,000, which is a big difference from 900 to 100,000. So, we can do as low as 10% down. So there are options. It's not built for first-time home buyers. If you don't have any money, you do have to have a little bit of skin in the game. Interest rates are pretty competitive. They're not much higher than a conventional loan. Truthfully, sometimes they're even lower, depending on how much you're looking to put down. So something that is really cool that we are rolling out, we've been working on this for the last year now, is we have 2 new interfaces. One is our underwriting, which this is math. Actually, I'm gonna start with the interface first. So we have a new interface. We're gonna have this in July. So basically, you guys have seen my application. Fill this out, go through it, yada yada. Client fills it out. It goes in the system. My team goes through the loan, gets them pre-approved, does the whole process. This new system starts off similar, except for clients will now be directly uploading documents into that portal. As they get uploaded to the portal, it gets pushed into their file. An AI underwriter underwrites that file immediately and is looking at those conditions and is now clearing those conditions for anything that's in our underwriting queue. Underwriting is significantly changing. We've been working on this system for quite some time now. It should be fully integrated in July. Basically, we're going to have same day, conditional approvals. We're going to have same day underwriting when we get a file in line in process. And typically, a client would send all their documents to Jessica. Jessica would then upload them to the system, and then my team would send that file back and process and send it back to the underwriter. It takes 24 hours, 48 hours, depending. But when a client uploads a document in process, it is immediately getting underwritten from an AI underwriter. So it's clearing the condition right away. What this is going to allow us to do is close files in 7 to 10 days, not just like every once in a while because it's a clean file, but more often. We can get stuff done a lot faster. Same day underwriting. This is also going to turn into, over the next few months, once we kind of get all the irons, everything, all the quirks ironed out, is it'll turn into pre-approvals that are fully underwritten. So we'll be able to take a pre-approval, which, I've been doing this a long time, so I can pretty confident and very due diligent on my pre-approval so we don't get to a point where we can't close, but it's gonna be fully underwritten prior to anything, which I know companies talk about, oh yeah, we pre-underwrite all of our files. Most of them are lying. Most of them are just saying, oh, I can look at it, it's good to go, but they're not actually sending directly to the underwriter, having that underwriter fully underwrite. It's very rare. Occasionally we do it when it's a file that's tricky, but if you're doing a lot of business, like if companies do a lot of business, there's just no time to do that. It's a lot of expenses. But now we have AI that's gonna be underwriting everything. We just got our first file done, and it was a breeze. It was simple. It took like 8 days to get the clear to close. After during the process, we had to wait on the appraisal, but like underwriting was done so fast. I guess that's really that. So what can you guys do to help me out? So I know renters are frustrated, rent's going up. Well, I guess it's been kind of leveling out, which is good to see, but when you're renting a home, you're paying someone else's mortgage. So who do you know that rents that would like to start building wealth for themselves? Newly engaged couples, people that have just got married, people who just got divorced, people who just had a kid. A lot of life changes turn into potentially having to refinance, having to upgrade your home, having to sell it, having to, whatever that might look like. Oftentimes there is a home involved with those life-changing moments in life. Realtors that need a responsive lender. I know a lot of lenders, we are always on our phone, or should be, but sometimes lenders don't respond to the next day, or they're not available on the weekends. Banks and credit unions, they're 9 to 5. Who's a real estate agent that you might know that needs someone that can be available on Saturdays and Sundays? Even been in this business for 10 years, still always on the phone. And then divorce attorneys, CPAs, wealth management companies. I mentioned earlier divorce and CPAs. It's a great referral source, because they're dealing with clients in that financial world all the time. How to refer. So you can simply say, I know a great mortgage guy. When can I connect you to? Or set up a group chat. And that's one thing I'm doing, a lot of agents doing right now, is just set up a group chat so they can see the communication and everything. You can, see all the numbers, all the stuff right there. We can all revert back to it. And also, with that being said, sometimes it's a lot easier just to get you have you guys connect us versus like, hey, can he reach out? Or hey, here's his phone number, here's his card. Just let me call them, whether they want me to or not. You say, hey, heard some great things. You're looking to buy a house. I'd love to, give you a couple options. You have 5 minutes to chat. Usually people don't say no when you're just easy, 5 minutes, polite about it. But so, closing. If a deal is easy, many lenders can do it. If it's hard, if it's tricky, if there's hair to it, if it's a problem, that's when lenders start to really show that they don't know what they're doing all the time. Or they have underwriting that says that's not flexible and doesn't always work in the gray. It's not always a black and white kind of thing. There's a lot of ways and avenues to get through loans that some people just can't figure out. So, yeah, pretty fast today.